Right Network. Mobilizing, countering the left, energizing the right. New Right Network, home of the New Right movement.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to New Right Network's original series, SmythTV. Your host, Brian Smith, giving you all the breaking news of the day, wrapping it all up, making sense of it, exposing the fake news, and giving you the real news of the day, Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. Crush to share, crush to like, invite your friends and your family, tell them all about the real news right here on SmythTV. Jump over to smyth.tv and check out the website, check out the shop, and while you're there, you can also watch Donald Trump's Twitter feed. Yeah, that's right, his Twitter feed is live right on our website, so you never miss a tweet from the President of the United States of America, always staying plugged in. And for those of you that are new, I absolutely welcome you. We've got a lot of new folks that have been jumping on the show. Thank you so much for the shares. Thank you so much for the likes. And just to kind of give you a rundown how the show works, down in the description below, there's a link that says show notes. Click that. That'll take you over to newrightnetwork.com, where the video for the show, today's show, is actually embedded in the article. So you could just share that article with your friends so they can watch the video, and then also scroll down and you can go through the show notes and follow us right along. And the reason why you want to follow us along in the show notes is because the handles from Twitter of each individual people that we showcase here are the ones that you need to follow. Now, if I put a handle up there to somebody and I say, man, this is a bad dude, and that's why I'm calling him out, don't follow him, then don't follow him. But also we'll showcase politicians that are on social media, some of the ones that are doing a great, phenomenal job, and some of the politicians that are doing a bad job. And that'll also be in the show notes, and we'll annotate it and let you know, hey, this is a bad politician. This is somebody that you should not vote for. And now we have 2020 right upon us. Some special elections are happening in 2019, and we will showcase those people that you should follow, those with the America First agenda, to keep America great again, and those who support Donald Trump agenda moving forward. Dr. Hennon, I've had him referenced him multiple times in the show. I've got his link down there in the description below. I was actually talking with him a little bit before showtime today, just kind of talking, shop talk, if you will, political shop talk, and just kind of hang out and do. I love doing this, folks. This is what I was born to do, absolutely. And as a Christian, as a soldier in Christ, we all have our own special talents that God has bestowed upon each and every one of us. We're not all supposed to be millionaires. We're not all supposed to be one thing or another. Find that special talent that God has given you. Just dive into it head first, embrace it, own that special talent, and move forward with it. My special talent, I tell you what, folks, I love the digital technology. I love staying in touch with everybody. I love to talk. I love doing what I do. I just love doing it, and getting out the real news really gets me happy. I'm really excited to bring this kind of stuff to you, to connect with each and every one of you digital soldiers out there, you warriors that are making it happen day in and day out. This is where the real news is. So let's open up with what I'm talking about. You keep saying these digital soldiers, Brian. What's going on? It's our good friend at G.I. Joe Ops. For I am a soldier in Christ's army. You armed me with strength for battle, and you humbled my adversaries before me. Amen. Psalms 18:39.
Admitted, I am a soldier. I cannot be discouraged enough to turn me aside. I cannot lose enough to cause me to quit. When Jesus called me into this army, I had nothing. If I end up with nothing, I will still come out ahead. I will win. My God has and will continue to supply all my needs. I am more than a conqueror. I will always triumph. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthened me. Devils cannot defeat me. People cannot disillusion me. Weather cannot weary me. Sickness cannot stop me. Battles cannot beat me. Money cannot buy me. Governments cannot silence me. And hell cannot handle me. I am a soldier. Even death cannot destroy me, For when my commander calls me from this battlefield, he will promote me to captain and then allow me to rule with him. I am a soldier in the army. I am marching. I am claiming victory. I will not give up. I will not turn around. I am a soldier marching heaven bound. Here I stand. Who will stand with me? The spiritual.
Folks, I'm here to tell you that we absolutely are on a mission. We are on a mission for God. We are on a mission for Christ. This has to be front and center every single day. Because why? Because we are being attacked every single moment of every single day. Thousands and thousands of Christians across the country, across the world, are being slaughtered. Thousands of Christians are being slaughtered. Christians do not slaughter people. Christians do not go out of their way to kill or to harm people. Christians are the ones that embrace love and peace. It is everything outside of that that is coming after us and attacking us. We've got to be vocal. We've got to stand up for this. In our schools, trying to remove Christ, in our government, trying to remove Christ, trying to remove Christianity, trying to silence those who embrace Christianity. And I know I'm going to get hammered for this one too. Yes, folks, I am all out and I am all in. I've been wondering how to introduce this into the show, how to move forward with this new reprogramming, if you will. If you've been with us for about five or 6 years, we originally started out as Smith Radio, Military Veteran Talk Radio. And back in the 90s, I was in the Air Force. Yeah, I got my Air Force shirt on today. Donald Trump was there at the Air Force cadets, congratulating them for the class of 2019. So I decided to throw my shirt on today. But back to what I was saying, folks. We have to run through this life with open arms and find those who are hurting, who are suffering, who are searching for an answer to all their woes, and that is Christ Jesus. Absolutely. And we've got to tell people about it. For those of you that are Muslim or that know people that are Muslim, that are forced to Sharia law, forced to not Sharia law or Sharia light, but those who say that the Quran and Islam is the way, you've got to open up to them. If you've got to tell them, hey, have you ever heard about Jesus Christ? Just ask them. There are people enslaved right now in the state of Islam that are looking for peace, love, and just a calmness. Be still and know. You've got to tell them about Jesus Christ. You've got to tell them that there's a different way. For those that Planned Parenthood, just absolutely out of control. And as we go through the show notes real quick today, Donald Trump's America First agenda, we will be talking about that. And why are we talking about that? We're talking about that because that's the most important thing right now. Franklin Graham calling on a special day of prayer for Donald Trump, for protection and divine wisdom to be able to make the right choice at the right time, because we are at a precipice right now to where we need to move in a completely different direction than where we've been going before, and be that beacon of light and hope for those around the world. Understand, embracing Christianity, embracing our founding fathers' way of life is that beacon of light for all those around the world, not to come here to America, but to imitate and emulate what we put forth here in America so that they can do the same in their country, so that they can have their nationalism, their way of life, their culture, but then also to embrace the love and the peace that is Christianity, capitalism in an honest way that has freed more people, single ideology that has freed more people from slavery than any other ideology in the entire world next to Christ and Christianity. That would be capitalism. Embracing that. And for those of you who say, oh, what about capital cronyism and government? No. The moment the government touches and meddles with capitalism, the moment it turns to become socialism. And that ain't no good. That's Venezuela. That's your dictators in Cuba and the former USSR. That's no good, and that's not the way this is supposed to go. We're also going to be discussing Donald Trump standing up against the powers that be worldwide, as we have now seen some video footage of Barack Obama curiously hanging out with world powers in Europe. Yeah, still undermining the president, still undermining the America First agenda. This is what we've got on display. Mexico completely falling apart. Third world country attempting and forcefully attempting to break into this country illegally. People that are claiming asylum are saying, I just want a better way of life. That is an asylum. And we're not trying to be mean-spirited, and this isn't anti-Christian, or this isn't anti-love, as maybe the Pope would say, open borders, open borders. No, folks, just as you would your child, not to spoil them, okay? Do not spoil your child, as you don't spoil other people around the world. We cannot take everyone in. It is physically impossible, monetarily impossible to take in everybody who wants to come here. It's never going to happen, because the day it does is the day that we lose our entire sovereignty and our way of life. So we've got to be that beacon of hope for everybody else to change your government, change your way of life. If you want what we have, do what we do, but do it in your country. And we've got third world countries right here in America, Los Angeles. Some heartbreaking news coming out of Los Angeles with the rats and the fleas and the typhoid, diseases that we haven't seen in over 150 plus years because of the invention of antibiotics. This is crazy nonsense, folks. This is not spare the rod, spoil the child. This is spoiling people. And this is what happens when you spoil children. This is what happens when cities and governments spoil their citizenry to allow them to live homeless on the streets, to allow them to be drug addicts and alcoholics on the streets. This is not right. We need to clean this up. As Benjamin Franklin said, if you want to cure poverty and homelessness, make it most extremely uncomfortable to live in. That will help cure it. Not throwing money at it. Not throwing hundreds of billions of dollars like the Democrats want to do. Then we've got election 2020 on hand. And again, here locally in the 13th district, Dr. D. Hennon here in Ohio, talked with him at the beginning of the show early on, and I'm really excited. I'm helping him as he's helping us. He's calling out politicians that are elected officials now, and we're pushing for him to take office and help Donald Trump make America great again. Ilhan Omar, and we got some protesters at her little get together. The resistance and the TDS is full blown out of control. We got Meghan McCain just can't help herself, folks. I know John McCain hated Donald Trump. I know John McCain ran guns. I know there's pictures of John McCain hanging out with the Taliban, hanging out with Al Qaeda. I understand that John McCain was not the greatest of dudes there was, enriching himself to millions and millions of dollars. If you want to know more about John McCain, watch the movie by Nicolas Cage, Lord of War. You'll know a little bit more about John McCain. However, John McCain is gone. He's no longer on this earth. He's in the other world now. So I'm not bashing John McCain. I don't bring him up anymore. We don't talk about him anymore. There's no reason for it unless something in an article or Meghan McCain brings it up. It's nuts, nonsense. But we'll visit that just real quick and go right through that. Cher getting crazy. Hollywood just going just nuts. Because of why? Because they didn't get what they paid for. They wanted Hillary Clinton to win. 1 million to nothing. They wanted Hillary Clinton to win, and it did not happen. Now Hollywood wants Mueller to win. It did not happen. Why? Because truth came out. Truth is in the spotlight. We're seeing truth, and they're absolutely reeling. Former Attorney General Mike Murkowski on Fox News talks a little bit about the Mueller thing. We've got Hillary Clinton doing some stuff in the news, and White House statement on the Mueller, and wrapping that up and moving forward. We've got great news with abortion updates that we're going to give to you. And again, we'll round out the show with some more motivational videos, if you will, of motivational speakers about being a warrior in Christ and what that means. And you and I, right here, folks, you and I are what's going to keep America great again. Donald Trump's term is over. 2024, that's it. It's all over with. He's going to win 2020 landslide. He's going to have another 4 years to lay the groundwork for us, you and me, to continue to move forward with keeping America great, putting back our values, our Christian Judeo values that lead to peace, harmony, and love. You talk about the religion of peace and love, that is Christianity. And we've got to share that with everybody else and show them that they may have a misconception of a concept of what Christianity may have been, or what you're seeing with other people in the Catholic Church and the priest and things like that. Again, I say to you, do not jeopardize the possible relationship you can have with Christ. And develop that you with Christ, not with other human beings, but don't jeopardize that opportunity because somebody else said something, because a human being did something to a child, because somebody had an abortion and is now part of the church and actually helps to run some of the church. Because, again, the Catholic Church, again, it's just unfortunate that so many of these priests have molested young children. Because a priest did that, he's a human being, and don't put them up on a shelf. We don't put our pastors up on the shelf, and the Bible does not say that the priest and the pastor should be put up on a shelf on high. That is not the way it's supposed to be. They are human beings, and we are all completely flawed and full of sin. However, the good news is Christ paid for that already. He paid for that 2,000 years ago. It's all been paid for. Your job, not to be guilty, not to be angry, not to be upset, not to allow the dark side to pull you down and drag you down from the bad things that you've done in the past, because we've all done them, and we're all going to do them again. But there are certain things that you want to stay away from. If you're tempted in one way or another, protect yourself and stay away from that kind of thing. And if you're in politics, and this is to the folks that are thinking about running for office, or who may want to consider running for office, stay out of backroom alleys and stay away. If you're a man, stay away from women. And if you're a woman, stay away from men, especially Joe Biden. You don't want to get involved with that kind of dark stuff. Very, very bad. And at @Rob_29, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. Proverbs 3:5-6. As a warrior in Christ, this is what happens. Iraqi Christian survives being burned alive by ISIS 3 times. Not once, 3 times. Says, Jesus spoke to me. This by Fox News. I'm here to tell you that kind of thing is absolutely true in the Bible. There was a king, a really bad king called Nebuchadnezzar. His name was Nebuchadnezzar. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were his prisoners, and he threw them into a hot, fiery pit. And while they were in there, Nebuchadnezzar looked inside to see him, and they were standing there dancing around, praising Jesus Christ, praising the Lord. It didn't burn. So they brought them back out of the flames and the fires, and they weren't, not a single one of them, not a thread, not a hair was singed or burned. And at that time, King Nebuchadnezzar knew that their God was the God of all gods, folks. We're seeing it in real time. And this gentleman, reported by Fox News, said that ISIS tortured and burned him 3 times. He's still alive. He doesn't look burned to me. He said Jesus spoke to him. Folks, you got to open up your heart, and you got to understand that there's a different way of life. My background, a little bit about me. I was raised in the church as a young kid, rebelled due to broken home issues, things like that. In my 20s and my early 30s, I didn't want anything to do with the church because I hated the people in the church and they did me wrong. And not only that, for those of you who've been on the show, you know I was a victim, lived as a victimocrat. I was a victim of society for almost 20 years and met my wife. She kind of helped turn me around, helped me get back into the church. For the last 5 to 6 years, we have been going to a church here locally that has completely changed my whole thought process, my whole ideology of what the church and the people in the church are. I didn't need to relearn Christ. I need to develop my relationship with Christ because I always knew it was there. I always knew he was there. But I had to relearn and have an understanding of what the church meant and what the people in the church mean. And when you have a disagreement with the people in the church, like you do with your friends and your family at all times, it's going to be the exact same way. If you don't think that the pastor is going to let you down, if you think that he'll never let you down and the people in the church will never let you down, I'm giving you warning, give you a heads up. You're going to be disappointed because they're going to let you down. Why? They're human beings just like you and me. You've let people down. I've let people down. I've done people wrong. People have done me wrong. But do not let that get in the way of your relationship with Christ. Forget about that, and forget about those people, and develop your relationship. I'm working with our church on bringing the Sunday service to video. So that as soon as that is live, as soon as that is up in video, there is audio only. And I've got that posted in the show notes and description below, and start to rethink about things differently. And by the way, that guilt that you're feeling, that's the dark side putting that in you. You got to let that go. You got to forgive yourself, let that go, and move on. And as I said, Donald Trump was congratulating the Air Force Academy class of 2019. Now, I was enlisted. I wasn't an officer, but these individuals are going to be officers in the Air Force. They've graduated the academy. And he was there to greet them, and he posted this video up today at Real Donald Trump. Congratulations to at AF_Academy, class of 2019.
The Air Force, you choose the noble road of service and duty and devotion. You choose to break old boundaries and unlock new frontiers and live life on the cutting edge. You could have chosen any school, any career you wanted, but you chose a harder path and a higher calling to protect and defend the United States of America. Today you take your place as officers in the most powerful Air Force in the history of our country and very easily in the history of the world. You have risen to every challenge, overcome every single obstacle, and proven yourselves worthy of the bars that will soon adorn your uniform. America commends the integrity, devotion, and commitment of the class of 2019. Thank you and congratulations, everybody. Thank you.
And this posted up at White House. Thank you to all the brave men and women graduating from the United States Air Force Academy today.
1,000 cadets who will soon become second lieutenants in the U.S. Air Force. You could have chosen any school, any career you wanted, but you chose a harder path and a higher calling to protect and defend the United States of America. I know what you've been through, and it's tougher, but you know what? In the end, it's better. You're going to see. You'll see. You'll see. Today, you take your place as officers in the most powerful Air Force in the history of our country, and frankly, and very easily, in the history of the world. America commends the integrity, devotion, and commitment of the class of 2019.
And this at back in the USA_US, President Real Donald Trump shook hands with every Air Force graduate, 1,000 of them. This guy has tremendous energy. And again, link in the description below if you want to watch the full hour and 40 minutes. Yeah, folks, Donald Trump, what energy, what love for country and love for man. He said, I don't have to do this. I don't have to shake anyone's hand. I could shake one. I could shake them all. And I'll tell you what, there's 1,000 of you, and I'm going to shake every single one of your hands. Do the math. 1,000 people, 5 seconds per handshake. That's an hour and 30 minutes long, folks. Just standing there shaking every single hand. I commend you, sir. Thank you very much for showing love for our country. We've never had a president like this. I do not, in my memory, I do not remember a president that spent so much time and expressed so much gratitude and so much love for our military. Thank you so much. And the Air Force obviously is close to my heart, close to my heart. But and here's why. Here's why I'm also calling on digital warriors that aren't Christians to take a second look at Christianity, take a second look at Christ, and take a second look at what we're doing here. And this by Billy Graham on Fox News. At Politic, Rick video, Reverend Franklin Graham is calling for a special day of prayer for President Trump in light of demonic attacks against him. Let's stop the digital coup d'etat.
President Trump is celebrating his first year in office, tweeting this: unprecedented success for our country in so many ways since the election. Record stock market, strong on military, crime, borders, and ISIS. Judicial strength and numbers, lowest unemployment for women and all, massive tax cuts, end of individual mandate, and so much more. Big 2018.
And our next guest was with the president on his inauguration day. Joining us now is Reverend Franklin Graham, president of Samaritan's Purse and the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association. Such an honor to have you here, Reverend. Thank you for joining us. So this has been a big year for anybody who cares about religious liberty in America and abroad. Tell us what this first year has meant for you and your followers.
Well, first of all, I'm just grateful to the president. I find him to be an honest person. I find him to be a person who concerned about the religious freedoms of Americans, but not just us here in this country, but he's concerned about religious freedom of people in other countries. And so I applaud what he has done this first year, even though he has been attacked since day one. And the left is trying to destroy this man. It's almost like we're in the middle of a digital coup. And that's what it is. It's a digital coup d'etat. They're wanting to force him out of office. They're wanting to take control of the government. And we need to pray for this man. And as a Christian, I want to do all that I can to support him. He's our president. Whether you voted for the man or whether you did, it doesn't matter. He's the president. And if he succeeds, we all succeed. If he fails, we all fail. The tax cut is going to help all Americans. And regardless, if the tide comes up, all the boats float. And so the tide is coming up, and we need to take advantage of this great opportunity and support him and pray for him and back him. Well, listen, whether they're missing his approach or not, it's working. ISIS has been basically defeated in Iraq and Syria. They're on the run. We need to give him credit for that. The economy, 8,000 points on the Dow, and that's incredible. 31% growth. That hasn't happened since FDR. This benefits everybody. If you've got a 401k, you are benefiting. And for me as a Christian, it supports the work that we do. Whether you're an atheist, whether you're a Catholic, whether you're a Protestant, a Jew, it doesn't matter. We all are benefiting from this man. He's a businessman. He's not a politician. And that's what I think is so good. He doesn't play by the politician's rules. He's a businessman who's trying to fix a broken system. And so as a Christian, I support him and pray for him. It doesn't mean he's perfect. He's not President perfect, but he's got his flaws like we all do. But he is certainly trying to fix this nation so it'll be better for my grandchildren and his grandchildren. So I say God bless the man, and let's move forward.
Digital coup d'etat. Thank you so much, Sir Franklin Graham. We know this to be an absolute fact. We're in the trenches right here. NewRightNetwork.com. Incredible writers over there, slaying the dragon every day, writing the articles. SmythTV, the original series, slaying the dragon every single day. Folks, to do a 1 hour show, it literally takes me 8.5 hours, 9 hours, sometimes 10 hours every single day to do a 1 hour show. plus to do all the research. Thank you, all of you that are on Twitter, that are posting up these articles left and right to help me get the word out. And with that being done, I'm also giving you tons of credit and showcasing you and your tweets, because you need recognition for the things that you've done in this digital war that we're involved in, to where they want to change the narrative, propagandize individuals. And we got a whole bunch of that stuff now that's just out of control. And the Trump derangement syndrome is so heartbreaking to watch some of the things that are going on. And now Mexico, that's the big one that happened yesterday. Mexico, you've been put on alert. Donald Trump raising tariffs on Mexico. If you don't get involved and stop this influx, this mass migration into America, we will not become Europe. We will not go the way of Angela Merkel. We will not go the way of Macron. We will not be that, because we have a bona fide leader at the helm, President Donald J. Trump, calling Mexico out. And this is one of two of his tweets. Yesterday, Border Patrol agents apprehended the largest group of illegal aliens ever. 1,036 people who illegally crossed the border in El Paso around 4 a.m. Democrats need to stand by our incredible Border Patrol and finally fix the loopholes at the border. And for those of you audio only, this is CCTV night cam videotaping the 1,036. It's a train of people just walking directly across the border. This is Donald Trump's second tweet. Mexico has taken advantage of the United States for decades because the Democrats and immigration laws are bad. Mexico makes a fortune from the U.S., have for decades. They can easily fix this problem. Time for them to finally do what must be done. I'm going to throw in Republicans too. Paul Ryan, you could have fixed this. You could have had this done. Lindsey Graham, Paul Ryan, Mitch McConnell, all y'all at the helm of this thing. You guys could have fixed this anytime you wanted to, and you never did it. You never built the wall. You never stopped the immigration. You never did any of that. You had the House, the Senate, and the executive branch. And what did you do? You squandered that crap. You squandered the first year and a half of Donald Trump's presidency. Shame on you. Shame on you. We need to focus on candidates that will have America's best interest, and we're going to run those candidates against Rhino Republicans. We're going to run those candidates against Democrats in Democrat-run cities to let everyone know we are no longer afraid to run against Democrats. Just because the GOP is not giving us money does not mean we cannot win. Look at AOC. She overthrew Crowley. Crowley was slated to be Speaker of the House. Crowley was an incumbent, an old dog Democrat, been there for decades. Problem is, Democrats gaslit their people so much that they were so frustrated with Dianne Feinstein, Nancy Pelosi, Crowley, because they keep lying and saying they're going to do this and saying they're going to do this. It's the Republicans stopping us. They always got an excuse. And so what happened? He got overthrown. AOC now. AOC doing what she does. We now have a chance right now, better than ever, to overthrow AOC with a Republican in that district that has not been Republican. And I can't even imagine how long. There's no way we were going to overthrow Crowley. Crowley was too old school dog Democrat. There's a very good possibility to overthrow AOC for sure. And I'm going to put dollars to donuts. The Democrats will not support another Democrat over AOC. Mark my words on that one. This at BMC, Adroy 9, Brandon. Here are the tariffs that President at Real Donald Trump have placed on Mexico. This is the schedule of tariffs. 5% tariff starts June 10th, 2019. 10% tariffs July 1st. 15% tariffs August 1st. 20% tariff September 1st, 25% tariffs on all goods and services coming from Mexico to America October 1st. Do you realize what this means? This is enormous. This is anything we have never seen a president flex his muscles in this way, like Donald Trump has flexed his muscles. We have a beyond, I know they say crisis at the border. It is beyond crisis. Rapes and murders and drug dealers with hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars worth of drugs coming across the border. Drug cartels running these cities on the border. One side of this of Mexico on the border, that city is where the drug cartels shoot people up and kill people. Then they walk across the border where they live, and that's a nice peaceful town because they got everything nice and quiet and on the lockdown. We got to stop these drugs from coming in, wrecking our homes and ruining our families. Just an update on a good friend of mine. He is he's walked away from his family, and it's heartbreaking. It's crushing. He's walked away from his wife and his children. He's into the drugs too deep. He can't break the cycle. He can't get away from it. And if we could get a hold of this opioid epidemic and the heroin that's coming through, the crack cocaine, all this stuff, the war on drugs needs to be called off because that damn thing ain't working. The war on drugs is not working. Stop with the war on drugs. We've got to revisit this and look at it in a different light. Just like Ben Carson said, we got to revisit this homelessness. We're throwing way too much money at this and nothing is working. This at IBC 360, Lauren G. Mexican peso tumbles as Trump jolts market with new tariffs. Yen gains. The Mexico peso sank to 3-month low against the dollar early on Friday after Washington unexpectedly said it would slap tariffs on all goods coming from its southern border neighbor. This at NASDAQ.com. This is a great one to follow as well. And folks, again, these are the digital warriors on the ground doing what they do every single day, posting up real news and real articles. All I do, folks, is I'm friends with them. I'm in different groups with them. They post all kinds of information, and I just am kind of guided by how things come together. I mean, if I tell you it's the hand of God that makes it happen, if you don't believe it, I'm sorry, but at times I do. I get up early in the morning. I get on my groups, my chat. I start going through all the different articles, start scouring through everything. And lo and behold, I start piecing it together like a puzzle. And I'll be darned if it just doesn't come together like this. Every single day it comes together. Truly a blessing from God to be able to bring you this kind of news. And I'm on the border, tweet 2 of 2. Again, also by Lauren. Young migrant woman found dead 80 miles beyond Texas-Mexico border. This is the 11th body found in Brooks County so far this year. Quote, "It is a tragedy that Congress will not act to stop these deaths." Brooks County Sheriff Benny Martinez, this by Breitbart News. If this is the first time on the show and you haven't seen these images, I'm sorry, but you've got to see them. You've got to know what's really out there. This is bad. This is rotten. This is as evil can get. The Democrats do not care. They don't care because they know that the amount of people that come over that get to stay here forever will vote Democrat. New voting Democrats, right there, illegals, regardless of the fallout and the carnage, whatever it takes to get them here, and they don't care. This is your new Democrat Party. This is what us Christians are fighting against. If you're a Christian and you're voting Democrat, or if you voted Democrat in the past, forgive yourself and hashtag walk away. If you're a Christian and you're currently voting for Democrats, I need you to reconsider what you're doing. I truly, truly do. Please reconsider what you're doing and why you're voting for these individuals. Take a look. This is real. This is heartbreaking. Without a border, without the deterrent, women and children are being raped by the tens of thousands, are being raped and destroyed on the border because they're making the attempt, unbeknownst to them, that the coyotes have set up a trap. They take their money and they rape them and leave them for dead on the border. There's something called rape trees down on the border. There are trees all over the border with pantyhose and undergarments just strewn around all over the trees for everyone to see, to let the next people know what happened here the night before, the week before, the day before. Good news at Mr. McBV at ADRIANDT31. That was quick. Mexico president begs Trump for Friday meeting on just announced tariffs. Mexico's president asked Trump to have U.S. officials meet Mexican foreign minister in Washington on Friday to seek solution that benefits both the nations. This at thegatewaypundit.com. Tariffs don't work. We're watching it real time, working right now. We also have Iran. Tariffs are working on Iran, crushing them, putting them back in the place that they belong, out of the Iran deal, away from all of that. And this at Choose to be free. Real freedom wins. Hashtag Mexico. You're going to have to do your fair share.
Why is this the solution? Well, great point, because why are the Democrats stonewalling and not allowing this to come to a vote? This is the problem, what we're seeing. The president repeatedly, over and over again, it says, partner with me. Let's work on this problem, this crisis of immigration at the southern border. We can all agree that there's a situation that needs to be addressed. The president has tried and tried again, but now he needs to do something different. And this is very consistent with what he said he was going to do. Mexico, you're going to have to do your fair share. We're no longer going to have the American taxpayer who works very hard for their paycheck every day shoulder the burden of your gross irresponsibility at the border, allowing these people to come over.
I echo her sentiments exactly, and so do you. I'm sure you do. If you're a Democrat and you don't understand what's going on, stay plugged into the show. Drop down into the show notes. There's a little link down there that says Telegram. Click the link for Telegram. Download the app on your phone. It's a really small, really insignificant app. Doesn't take up much space at all. And when you get on that link, go back and click the link again. It'll take you to our group. Our group is an organization where I drop the links to the show. I drop the links to the show notes in there every single day so that you're ready to go. Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern, you have the show notes ready. You know what's going to happen. You get to see the thumbnail and the picture and all the heads up and the information before anybody else does. You have exclusivity to this show by going down in the description below, clicking Telegram, and joining our group. The only thing that's posted is stuff having to do with at Smith Television on Twitter and the show updates. Now, for those of you who've been for a while, listening to the show, you know that I lived out in California, SoCal, out there in Long Beach, California, for about 11 years. And I left in 2012, couldn't do it anymore. I had a wife and 2 daughters. Billboard signs up, everybody can see them, half-naked men holding each other. Just absolutely awful things that I don't need my daughters asking me why half-naked men are on billboard signs holding each other, or my son seeing half-naked men. That is completely inappropriate and something that comes out of the pages of the Bible, Sodom and Gomorrah. And if you don't know what happened to that, it didn't end well. I'm just telling you right now. So as we look at the immigrants, illegal immigrants, I saw them for the 10 years that I were there in Southern California, and I'm here to testify that on the 4th of July or Memorial Day or something having to do with America, they would fly the Mexican flag, put it in the back of their pickup truck, and drive around town with the Mexican flag, always saying that this is their land and they're taking it back by invading it. Folks, they're not lying and they're not hiding it. The media's hiding it, though. I was there on the ground and I saw it. I still have friends there, and they're saying now from 2012 to 2019, they said it's exponentially worse. The drug use, the Mexican nationals that are running wild, and this at Doing Right one. Good one to follow. Great news coming out. And I'll spare you the audio on this, but this is Mexican, maybe legal, maybe illegal, nationals burning American flags, covering their faces. Illegal immigrants waving the American flag, then burning it in the middle of the street. Remember the day people were proud to legally come to this country? Retweet if you have a relative that came to the USA legally. Doing Right one follows back all MAGA and CAG. Keep America Great, that is. These are the ones that will follow you back. If you're trying to grow your base, you're trying to grow your Twitter account. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. Mike Cernovich tweeted out a thread on how to make that happen and to get your mind right with that. But give to others. Be something unique to everybody else and help us move this agenda forward as we, the digital warriors for Christ, help to move this forward as well. And a good friend of the show, Trevor Loudon. We've interviewed Trevor Loudon multiple times on the show, and an incredible mind out of New Zealand. The link to his Twitter account is in the description as well, so you can follow him on Twitter. And this, our good friend at Jally_Cat. Who's behind the push for open borders? This is an orchestrated communist assault on America.
So this is an orchestrated communist assault on America to destroy America's borders, to create confusion in America, to overwhelm the system politically, because America is the main enemy. And if you can't bring it down through nuclear weapons, you bring it down through illegal immigration, which is maybe just as effective in the long run. You can see what 15, 16, 20, 25 million new Democratic voters is going to do to this country. You will lose Texas, you will lose Florida, you will lose Georgia, Arizona, North Carolina. There will never be, ever, another Republican or conservative president in our lifetimes.
And the video that you're watching, folks, illegal aliens running from what looks to be like a bus or a shuttle. They're running by the tens, the hundreds of thousands. If you sat at the 50-yard line with a fully automatic machine gun and you had an entire football team charge at you immediately, they will overwhelm you. You cannot shoot them all. We're not shooting anybody at the border, okay? They're all running at us, and the Border Patrol cannot catch them all. It is physically impossible. And I was telling you about Los Angeles. This is what's happening as they call it living in the shadows. Those that are illegally here, we got to bring them out of the shadows. In Los Angeles at SH 61970, we have a complete breakdown of the basic needs of civilization in Los Angeles right now. We have the 3 prongs of airborne disease. Tuberculosis is exploding, and rodent-borne. Sanitation has completely broken down. This by Dr. Drew Pinsky on Thursday night on the Ingram Angle. And this is the second tweet from our deplorable Trump voter. Liberal city, state, sanctuary city, gigantic homeless problem, and now typhoid fever. This report at CamVTV, 2 Los Angeles police officers have contracted Salmonella typhi, the bacteria that causes typhoid fever. One officer is suspected of contracting typhus, a disease carried by rats and fleas. Where are you, Nancy Pelosi? Do your job. Diseases that we haven't seen that have been eradicated hundreds of years ago are now coming back. The drug needles, the feces, everything ridden in the streets of Los Angeles. San Francisco is just as bad. And now we have officials contracting these diseases because they have to work down there. This is your Democrat Party. This is why I say you've got to walk away from them. This is how you change what is going on right now in your city. This is what we're doing here in Ohio at Dr. D. Hennon. No deal, Eric. Sounds like big government tactics. Hashtag Hennon for Ohio 2020. 13th Congressional District Republican. Trump 2020. Real Donald Trump. NRA, NRCC. This is your Eric Swalwell, elected official. I'm the only candidate calling for a ban and a buyback of military-style weapons. Keep your pistols, keep your shotguns, keep your rifles. Let's take those most dangerous guns out of the hands of the most dangerous people. Are you with me? Hell no, I'm not with you, man. That's what they're doing in Australia. That's what the people in Venezuela are just so upset because they gave their guns up. Hell no, we're not giving them up. And just to show you what Americans are doing, rising up everywhere, doing their part at God Loves USA 1. This Asian American Trump supporter was at a rally protesting Ilhan Omar. I'm here to defend America.
You have people on the other side shouting at you, calling you racist.
You know what? It's their freedom to say whatever they want, but I ain't backing down.
And as we talked about it yesterday, the Asian Americans right after World War II, during World War II, were put in internment camps, and they no longer decided to live as victims of their skin color or their nationality, no longer as victims, but as victors. Victors. If you want to be a victor, Embrace Christianity, embrace Christ, because in Christianity, in Christ, you will learn how to not be a victim. Victimhood is of the dark side. Sorrow, pain, anger, anguish, guilt, all that stuff is from the dark side. That's from the devil. That's from the evils of the world. That's what they want you to feel. No longer feeling that here. I salute you, sir, for standing up against the dark side. As we run through the TDS real quick, Trump derangement syndrome, this at Smith Radio. Well, the Bible does say that sins of the father will be visited upon the children. I'm so sorry you have to suffer for what your father has done, in response to Meghan McCain. Meghan McCain, who I don't follow for obvious reasons, no reason to. Trump is a child who always be deeply threatened by the greatness of my dad's incredible life. There's a lot of criticism of how much I speak about my dad, but 9 months ago he passed. Trump won't let him rest in peace, so I have to stand up for him. Makes my grief unbearable. This has to do with a fake news article that was put out that Donald Trump was in the air in Japan, and people covered up the USS McCain, saying that they were told to because Donald Trump didn't want to see the ship. No, that had nothing to do with it. The ship was under construction. Donald Trump said, hey, if that's what you were trying to do, that was really bad. That was a bad mistake. You shouldn't have done it. Thank you for Meghan McCain for jumping to conclusions, telling people what isn't. And this more nonsense and craziness coming out of Hollywood. Cher tweets that she wants Trump to be boy toy raped in prison by Bubba, refuses to apologize. This is the thread that has since been deleted. This at Pierce Morgan. Breaking, Cher says she wants President Trump to be raped in prison, boy toy of Big Bubba. Disgusting. If she'd said that about Obama, she'd never work again. And Cher replies, this is not an apology. It is a Cher WTF moment. I've got it right here. Trump derangement syndrome is having a very deathly effect on other citizens. And our friend at Mel_Faith1, a flaming Trump derangement syndrome patient in hospital, believed to be in critical condition. It's sad. Man sets himself on fire near the White House. As you can see, the guy has completely engulfed in flames and walking around. Then she retweeted a follow-up. Remember this guy? Dead. Gupta of Bethesda, Maryland, the man who set himself on fire by the White House, has died. Prayers for his family. Truly sick and deranged. Truly sick and deranged. This is what the fake news media is giving and getting. This is what's happening, folks. And let's run through the Mueller real quick. And our friend at RobJH1, former AG Michael Murkowski, breaks down the tale of the video between Barr and Mueller. Donald Trump tweeted this out. Sean Davis, the Federalist, Mueller proved his entire operation was a political hit job. Still zero evidence of Trump-Russia collusion. No evidence from Mueller.
You think they're going to impeach you? I don't see how. It's high crimes and misdemeanors. There was no high crime and there was no misdemeanor. So how do you impeach based on that? And it came out that there was nothing to do with Russia. The whole thing is a scam. It's a giant presidential harassment. And honestly, I hope it goes down as one of my greatest achievements because I've exposed corruption. I've exposed corruption like nobody knew existed.
Did Russia help you get elected?
No, Russia did not help me get elected. You know who got me elected? You know who got me elected? I got me elected.
100%. We know it to be an absolute fact. Thank you, Donald Trump, for screaming this out. Speaking of the rotten Hillary Clinton, I told you she was in the news. You're not going to believe what for. This at Ryan A. Fournier, this is a great one to follow. He's a political commentator and analysis, chairman of Trump Students. Hillary Clinton is the keynote speaker for a cyber defense summit. And 4 crying, laughing faces. You would think that this was just an article out of The Onion or something, but no, it's absolutely true. Take it for what it is, guys. I don't know what to say. This at ARAUZ 2012, Joe DeGeneva, Robert Mueller should be immediately disbarred. He stood the Constitution on its head. Video by thegatewaypundit.com. Real Donald Trump tweeting out, Robert Mueller came to my Oval Office along with other potential candidates seeking to be named director of the FBI. He had already been in that position for 12 years. I told him no. The next day, he was named special counsel. Total conflict of interest. Nice. And at press secretary, White House statement on Mueller's statement today. After 2 years, the special counsel is moving on with his life, and everyone else should do the same. Sarah Sanders. I couldn't agree more with her. Absolutely. Y'all need to move on. Move on, getting on. And updates on Planned Parenthood, updates on abortion. This at Mike Zito9. Planned Parenthood president burying aborted babies stigmatizes abortion. No, abortion stigmatizes abortion. Thank you, Indiana, for passing the law saying that they can tell you what to do with a human body that has been deceased. And at Lisa MEI62, no more caramel delights. Simone's for me. Girl Scout gives its highest award to teen who organized campaign promoting abortion. Yes, folks, if you didn't know, Planned Parenthood is knee deep, neck deep, arms deep in our children at the Girl Scouts. And with that being said, everybody, have an incredible Friday afternoon. Thank you for watching New Right Network's original series, Smith TV. Your host, Brian Smith, giving you all the breaking news, wrapping it all up, making sense of it, exposing the fake news, and giving you the real news as a digital warrior for Christ right here, helping to right this ship, helping Donald Trump to make America great again. When 2020 comes, we will reelect Donald Trump. 2024 comes, we've got to be ready. Just a few, 4 or 5 years away, and we've got to be on top of our game, and we've got to be in this fight together. You and I together will make America great again. You and I together will keep America great again. And I'm going to end on this video.
Following Jesus, it's a war. It's not joining the happy club. It's not Chuck E. Cheese in here. It's a war. It's a battle, and you have to think it through. Am I willing to suffer? Am I willing to fight this fight? Because if you sit on the sidelines, you don't do anything, Satan's not going to attack you. Some of you guys, well, Satan doesn't attack me. Well, does he have reason to? I just think it's those times when you go, okay, I'm going to fight this thing. I'm going to go after it. So understand, if you decide to follow Jesus, not pray a prayer and call yourself a Christian. Okay, I'm saying if you really make a decision to follow Jesus and live for his kingdom, really, that seemed like what Jesus did. Do you understand that by following Jesus Christ, it means you're entering into a war? That it means to follow. Truly follow Jesus Christ and live the way he asked you to follow his morality that's going to get more and more unpopular on this earth. It's going to be a war. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a fight. And the question is do you really want to do that? Do you see Jesus Christ and his forgiveness and his eternal kingdom something that is so valuable that you're willing to lose everything in order for that? That you're willing to fight the fight for the rest of your life? See, that's the question. Is Jesus that valuable to you? Because if so, then yes, then come up into this water. If you want to get baptized, I'm telling you just right off the bat, this isn't like a fun thing on this earth. There are times when it's just absolutely brutal, because it's a war, it's a battle. But it's because you believe that there's a treasure in Christ and an intimacy you can have with him that's worth the pain. That's worth the fighting, that's worth the suffering, and that there's an eternal kingdom that he offers that's worth it all. And there's an intimacy and a relationship you can have with God. That's such a great treasure that, yes, I'll come up here, and by entering the waters, you are dying to your old self. That old self with all the things that you're holding on to and you thought would bring you so much pleasure, you realize that was a dead-end road, and I found something. So even if I have to suffer on this earth, I'm going to go for it because it's a treasure so great that with great joy, I'll go through the suffering and get this treasure.
Men, we were not made to live like most men. We were made to fight. We were made to strive. We were made to work. We were made to conquer. We were made to give ourselves for something that is eternal. Adam was given the command to do what? To go out and subdue. To bring everything in creation in harmony with the will of God. To do all his governing, all his things within the context of God's will. Now we live in a fallen world.
You've been listening to New Right Network, mobilizing, countering, energizing. Online at newrightnetwork.com.